What's up everyone, Cubed Vibes here, and welcome to the second episode of my little Let's Play here. So, for those of you who have watched my last video where I built a giant Jesus statue, you might recognize that these houses behind me were not here. So I did quite some progress in between episodes on stream. So let's just go have a quick peek at what we built here. So we built this whole upper section right here with all these houses kind of surrounding this little courtyard in the middle right here on the left side, or kind of behind the church, as well as this little upper and lower section right here with the block of another 5 houses down here. Let's just fly up real quick, have a look at what all that looks from the distance or from above. So I think it turned out pretty good. The city already looks quite a lot larger, just by adding all of these buildings kind of on the right side of the church as well. So in this video, we're going to kind of be focusing on the little upper part of the city right here. So we're going to complete a bunch of these houses, and we're also going to build a pretty big road over on the other side of the city. So let's just do that first. Adding in some roads instead of just dirt gaps already adds so much to the finished look of the base. Just come over here and take a look at this. This already looks way better than just having some grass. So we're gonna go ahead, remove all of this area and fill in a road right here. Alright, so let's just grab a bunch of cobblestone as well as some stone bricks and some more stone. And we're almost out of stone, so let's just head down to my storage room real quick and grab up some more. Alright, I'm just gonna take one of these shulker boxes right here. That should be enough. Let's just put it down here and grab up a bunch of stone and craft some more bricks. So let's just come down here and remove this little andesite border right here so we can connect the road to the house in just a second. And just like this, it is all gone. So now we're going to start removing most of the grass so it's a little bit easier to build this road in here. And just like this, all of the grass is gone. So we're just gonna go and put in a few guidelines right here, just so we can kind of work out the slope of this road a little bit easier. So let's just hit a time lapse of filling in this entire road right here. Alright, so we are almost done with this road right here. There's just a few things we need to sort out. Let's just have a quick look at this right here. So we just gotta replace the bottom blocks of the houses since the road previously was a little bit taller. So all of the houses are connected down to the ground, and we're also sorting out this little lighting issue right here because we had a lot of mobs spawning. So it is finally time to do some building, so let's start by making this little block of 4 houses right here. So I laid out a few materials that I want to use. We're going to start with some mossy stuff, then some jungle and an andesite roof. Over here we're going to have an andesite base, some sandstone and a, what is that, warped roof? No, crimson roof. Then down here we're going to use some stone bricks, a variant of different oak and granite for the roof. And then over here some bricks, some green stuff, and then a sandstone roof. So let's just hit another time lapse and make these 4 houses right here. Alright, so I'm all done with these 4 houses right here. So let me just give you a quick look at what we made here. I think it turned out pretty cool. I was kind of struggling with this roof right here and how to link it up with the andesite roof, but it worked out pretty good. The only thing is, I think it's a little bit too close to the buildings, kind of on the right. I would have liked if there was a little gap between the roofs, but it's not too bad. It looks pretty cool, I think. I think got the dimensions pretty straight. Oops, let's get back up here. Exactly like that. So yeah, I love this little alleyway right here, kind of just going up this little hill. It looks pretty cool all in all. I forgot to do this little part up there. I'm going to do that in a second. But anyways, let's make a little stairs right here, because it's a little bit annoying because I always have to fly up there to my shulker boxes. So I'm just going to make a stair right here just for some easier access. I formally apologize for this absolutely terrible transition right here. I don't know how I didn't realize that this jumping was going to ruin everything and that I was not on the same block at all. But anyways, it is what it is. We've got a stairs now. Well, my current XP level is pretty low. We're only at like 246 levels, and I'm going to need a bunch of gold for my next video. So I'm just gonna hop over onto my gold farm and just go AFK there for a few hours. So we can just come and hit one of these guys, and then they're all gonna be aggressive and run after me. And in every oh my god, in every corner there's one piglin who just kind of makes sure that they're always mad. And then when I hop in here, let me just lower my game sounds a little bit for y'all's ears' sake. But anyways, they can still see me between this gap in the snow and the glass, and they just jump in these holes and get entity crammed. And because they're mad at me, I still get the levels, even though I don't have to actually kill them. So I can just stand here, let this run in the background, and just pick up a bunch of XP. Let's just come have a look in these chests right here. We got one full chest, that's pretty good. We've got another one, and one is sort of halfway full. That should be enough to last us through the next video. But anyways, let's just craft those up into some blocks real quick. Okay, so we've got basically a whole full shulker box of gold in here right now. That's pretty cool. But it is time to do some building again, and we're gonna make these two houses just behind me down there. And I'm gonna try something new, since most of this video and the last video has been just time lapses. I'm gonna try doing a little montage, just gonna show you my process of building as well. So we're gonna start off by just removing these outlines right here, and then starting to put in some walls right here. I'm gonna do the first one with some andesite and stone, and the second one in some terracotta and bricks. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to find a height that works for me right here, and then we're gonna come down here and extend the brick and terracotta wall as well. So next up, I'm gonna be putting up some supports right here for the facade in the second story. So I'm just gonna find some good spots for those, and then just put in some stripped spruce with some regular oak logs. So I'm just gonna pull these up to about 6 blocks in height, and then next up, start adding in the wall that goes behind it. So we're just gonna put in the facade right here, some stripped acacia, some regular acacia planks, and some orange terracotta. Then we're gonna do the same as we did with the other house, put in some supports, and add in the second wall as well. We're gonna use some brown mushroom blocks right here. Now we can start doing some detailing. So I'm just gonna add in some brick walls as well as some regular brick stairs in here to add a little bit more depth on the bottom wall. And we're going to continue detailing on the second story right here and add in a bunch of supports, then some windows, as well as some other details like some more supports on the side and on the top. And then just close it off with some logs on the top. Let's have a look. I think it looks pretty decent, so we're going to repeat this along the other sections as well. So that's one more section done, and I also decided to add in some more signs on the sides and on the top. And there we go, that's the first house pretty much done. Now it's just missing the roof. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the second house as well. Alright, so I added in some supports on the bottom as well as some windows. So now we just add in a little bit more detail, some fences, some buttons, and some more supports. And I think that's looking pretty decent actually. Just gotta do it on this side as well right here. And now all of the sides are done as well. So all that's missing now is a roof. So we're gonna go ahead and add in some guidelines on the sides. So I'm just gonna try to make a connected roof just like the house on the very right. So let's start pulling up a line of slabs right here. I'm always struggling with roofs a little bit, especially on the diagonal houses, but I think we should be able to make it work. So let's just make a little outline on the bottom as well, and then replicate the slope on the other side. So the other side of the house is all done, so now let's just add in a little support beam over on this side and the other side as well. So I'm just gonna repeat pretty much the same process over on the other house. So I went for a little bit of a steeper roof on the top house and a connecting one on the bottom. So we're just gonna start filling that in with some stairs. So the first roof is all done. Now it's just time to do the second little connecting roof on the bottom and then fill in these little gaps in front of the roof. So just like that, both roofs are pretty much done. Now I just gotta fill in this gap on the bottom right here. So I'm gonna use some calcite and some wool on the top one and add in a bunch of details and those supports like this. And it sounds a little bit weird, but I used some barrels for the second one, but I think it kind of works actually. Let's just have a look at what we built right here, and I think that looks pretty decent actually. But yeah, we did some pretty good progress in today's episode. So since the last one, we built this whole right section of the city right here, as well as this road in the middle and all these other roads on the side. So that is pretty good. So in the next video, we're gonna start tackling this front area in front of the city. And originally I wanted to do some farmland, but we're gonna make a giant lake right here. But more about that in the next video. Alright, so let me know down in the comments what you thought about this little compilation and if I should use these more often or just stick to some regular time lapses. But that was it for today's episode. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.